What's up, everybody? It's me, Stevie, Supersmallchibiwolf, Supersmallchibiwolf, and today I'm going to be talking about my top 5 Mario Kart games. So let's get into this. So when it comes down to ranking the Mario Kart games, 3 main points come to mind. Well, 4. My personal experience, the characters, the stages, and what differentiates this one than the one that came before and after it. Those are the main points, and I think those are justified to be the main points due to this being Mario Kart, So yeah, pretty much that's it. Let's get into this. Coming in at number 5 is the original classic Super Mario Kart game. Now, I love the Super Nintendo, and Super Mario Kart is a wonderful game to have it on, and I think, long story short, one thing that I always thought is this. You know how the original Resident Evil games have the tank controls and all that? I think this is an example of Mario Kart's tank control. This is a perfect example because, when you're going from Super Nintendo, which is, that type of feel, to like 64, in my opinion, 64, I could go from 64, GameCube, etc. We're straight to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And to me, it just seems like, okay, a natural thing. But this game seems like a little bit different. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It has its own unique charm, let's say, And overall, it introduced everyone to Mario Kart. And overall, I love it. Coming in at number 4 is Mario Kart 64. I love Mario Kart 64. It's an amazing racing game and it introduced one of my favorite Mario Kart courses of all time, which is Royal Raceway. I love it. Let me just speed talk about that real quick. One thing that I love is that, you could drive up to the castle and stuff, although you can't go inside the castle, which I think that would have made it even more cooler and amazing, you know what I mean? Just go inside, you don't go upstairs, but if they did introduce that, just they probably didn't want to, they didn't think of it or they didn't want to detail it that much. But in later entries, they should have done it. Now, besides that, going back to this. Also, another thing besides Royal Raceway is, I always wondered, I was like, man, this multiplayer is fun and amazing and it's really cool, whether it's racing each other, whether you're battling with other people. Dude, it's really amazing. I think Mario Kart 64 is the second perfect and best improvement to a Mario Kart game compared to its previous game. You had the original, and correct me if I'm wrong, the Game Boy one, and then Mario Kart 64. I think the original 2 Mario Kart 64. Either way, it's an improvement 100%. This is what, what I like to see. You know what I mean? You have a original game, it's fun. But then you have the sequel, which outdoes it completely. And this is what Mario Kart 64 did. Also, Mario Kart 64, man, this is where they really perfected the formula. You know what I mean? They evolved, they made amazing changes. And long story short, I love this game. Coming at number 3 is Mario Kart Wii. Now, when it comes down to this, let me explain, long story short. So, 7th-gen consoles, right? I had, PS3, Wii, it was wonderful times. So, long story short, I've always heard people talk about, gaming and this and that. And later on, I remembered hearing about, the Wii was always talked about here and there. But I remember a lot of people talking about more of the PS3. And long story short, my experience in, and during this 7th-gen consoles was like gaming on the PS3 mostly. I didn't even know the Nintendo Wii connected onto the online services. I was like, wait, what? I found this out online on a video on YouTube years later. So, and plus, when I did try to connect it online, Nintendo shut down the console services the day before, which is like, are you fucking... That is the most like, yo, you fucking with me moment of gaming. It was like the day right there, the morning of, I find out. Yesterday they shut it down. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? So, yeah, that stayed with me. That story stayed with me. And I was like, yo, that's crazy. You know what I mean? I almost experienced it by a few hours, by the way. So, keep that in mind. So, but long story short, Mario Kart Wii. That's the last game that I had, like, coach co-op until, like, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, of course. And, yo, it was fun. You playing Mario Kart Wii. I unlocked everything on it. Man, getting Rosalina, Dryboza. You doing your own thing. Battle mode stages, they really had amazing ones as well, which I'm surprised that they didn't even bring that on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but hey, life is life. So yeah, really cool. Mario Kart Wii is a really fun and amazing game, and when it pales to the, I think, let me just say this real quick because I know someone's gonna say it or dislike. Mario Kart Wii, Mario Kart 64. I feel like overall game wise, minus personal experiences, I feel like Mario Kart 64 might take it due to introducing many into stuff. They introduced many things. They introduced characters, they introduced stages, and many wonderful things. Royal Raceway, for example, and all the things I said. But if we're going to compare them overall in experiences and all, although I have many wonderful experiences with Mario Kart 64, Mario Kart Wii provided a little bit more, and plus being the main game of that console for me, it wins. You know what I mean? So yeah. Coming in at number 2 is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And let me tell you this is my second time recording it because the first recording was 8 minutes long. So let me just quick shot this in one and go. The reason this game is not number 1 is 3 things. You had a reason to, you had like DLC and stuff, which is amazing cool. You didn't have new battle modes, like maps and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Number 2, you had a chance to add specific characters in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Why not Captain Falcon? Like the dude, you have his stage already. You skinned the dude to make a Mii costume. That's the biggest mistake in Mario Kart history, not having Captain Falcon as DLC. And how the hell is Animal Crossing qualified for Mario Kart and not Captain Falcon? But with those out of the way, those were my biggest issues, by the way. Let's get into this. Now, when it comes down to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I love this game. Let me give you a little history of how I see it. And, the Nintendo Switch is coming out, very successful. I got a day 1 launch. I had to, what was it? I don't remember clearly, you know what I mean? I had to midnight pre-order, just for the pre-order, I waited midnight in the store, and I pre-ordered it, picked it up day 1. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, amazing. 1 month after, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Boom, this game, this game took me, you know what I mean? I already beasted on the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and then I beasted Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and then the DLC drops, adding more, and oh man, this game really was amazing and cool. Now, comparing this with the previous ones, although I kind of debated to myself, like, well, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe does take stuff from the previous games and just basically upgrades everything, you know what I mean? Better graphics, this and that. How can a game that does that be qualified as better than those, while those are the games that they're taking it from? Then I thought, they have online mode and they had other stuff as well. So whatever. This game has a link from The Legend of Zelda, you know what I mean? So that itself, wow, amazing. Number 2, you win. You know what I mean? But if only Captain Falcon. But we could hope for the future, Now, besides that, I think, when it comes down to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I love this game. It's still fun to go back to and play with friends. And yeah, I love it. So real quick, I wanted to give a shout out and honorable mentions to Mario Kart Arcade GP DX, which is the sequel to Mario Kart Arcade DP. Both are wonderful racing games and arcade racing games that's official of Nintendo. They have Pac-Man and other characters as well. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to both of them. So yeah. Number 1 is Mario Kart Double Dash. I love Mario Kart games. Mario Kart Double Dash is the coolest game in this series. This game introduced the 2 item system, or the 2 system, which is 2 items, 2 different characters, each character's having their own unique items. You have like the princesses, Princess Peach, Princess Daisy, they share the same item. You have Mario, Luigi, they share the same item. So you have like Luigi and Daisy. You have the fireballs from Mario and Luigi. And then you have the hearts of Peach and Daisy. So right then and there, you have abilities to get your unique items alongside the other items within the game. So it's really cool and amazing. And also, this game also had the All Cup Tour, which is, if you love challenges like I do, this is it. You know what I mean? Like, you have a lot of the stages and the courses, just bundled there, and it's like chaos. It's amazing. It's cool. And also, I would say, when it comes down to the early 2000 games, Mario Kart Double Dash really stands out, That's always like next to other wonderful 2000s games, When I think about the early 2000s, I think of many games, and Mario Kart Double Dash is one of them. This game also had like battle modes, The battle mode here is the superior one, This one just, wow, the stages or the battle courses, It's fun. You fight on top of a GameCube in a mansion, etc. So yeah, and also it had like different modes that introduced, such as, Balloon Thief, Shine Thief, Bomb Blast, and many other things, and it was really cool and fun. So number 1, Mario Kart Double Dash. So after talking about my favorite Mario Kart games, let me know in the comments what are your favorite Mario Kart games and why. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, bye.